Alright, that is Yellow Lead Better by Pearl Jam. And now, let's go ahead and get started with our talk show and everything. And let me just quickly change it up. Alright, and hold on. I gotta change that little thing over. Alright, and there, we got the little UORadio talk show thing, and up there for the title. And I want to start off by introducing everybody here is with me today for the talk show. I have DJ Emaleth from Atlantic here with me. I have DJ Malik here from Atlantic as well with me today. And I, of course, myself, am DJ Viceroy. Oh my God, I can't even remember my name today. And I am from Chesapeake. That is right. I got like several things going on, so you'll have to excuse me if I seem a little distracted. And I think Angel from our IRC chat, she says she's going to try to get in here and join us as well. So, you know, we'll see how that works out for her, if she can get on here and we can get her all situated and all that good stuff. She may be joining us as well. I do believe she's from Europa. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and jump right into our first topic today, and that seems to be a quite controversial issue this week and everything on the U-Haul boards over on Stratix. And there seems to be a lot of discussion about the capping of LRC. Now, if you look at the Stratix U-Haul boards, you pretty much see these kind of posts all over the boards and everything. You see, you know, people like, no, don't cap LRC, you know, don't. And then you got people saying, cap it, you know. And it's just kind of weird, you know, and everything. But, you know, I'm kind of forgetting something here, and that's because I didn't actually give them a chance to say hello to everybody. So go ahead and say hello to everybody out there, Emaleth, and, you know, go ahead and say hello.
Hello, everyone. This is DJ Emaleth.
And yes, it's great having you and everything. And of course, we have Malik. Go ahead and say hello, everybody out there.
Hello, everybody. Can't wait to see what we're going to talk about today. Again, I'm not prepared.
Yep, never prepared. That's the name of the game. Never prepared. Because really, you know, if you want to know the truth, none of my DJs ever know what we're going to talk about. Never. It's just like one of those spur of the moment things. It's like, okay, what do you think about this? You know, and they're like, you know, that way they can't script it or anything, you know, it just puts them on the spotlight. What do you think about this? You know, and that way there's no scripting or anything like that. No opportunity to, you know, try to, you know, finagle it and everything to sound like you're an innocent little angel when in fact you might actually think differently, you know what I mean? So, you know, I like to get the bold truth out of everybody, and so it's kind of like one of those kind of situations, which is always a good thing. So what we're going to do, we're going to actually pull Angel up here with us, and here's Angel with us as well. Go ahead, I don't know if she can hear me or not. I'm sure she can, but I want to go ahead and say hello to her. I'm not sure if she got everything set up right, but try saying something, Angel, to everybody out there. I don't know if she's going to be able to do it. Well, maybe she doesn't have it figured out yet, but I'm looking over here at the IRC chat if you want to come help out, and let's see. So let's go ahead and talk about LRC. Emaleth and Malik, what are your thoughts on it? Do you want to see it capped, or do you not want to see it capped? I mean, what are your personal opinions? I mean, I know you guys are like husband and wife and everything, and I know it's going to be like kind of interesting to see, Emaleth, you really think that way? And then Malik's going to be, I think that idea sucks, and then, you know, he's going to get slapped and everything. It's going to be quite interesting, right? Go ahead, Emaleth, tell us what you think.
You're just trying to get him in trouble, aren't you? Okay, I like LRC. I mean, when I go out to fight, normally I don't go out somewhere to fight unless there's a whole bunch of other people there, because I'm a chicken. I die easily. I get in over my head, and with LRC, I can ensure my whole outfit. As soon as I get rezzed, I can heal myself up, or I can get back to my body, and it's so much easier. I don't have to worry about having a bag of regs. And capping it? No, please don't.
And why is it that you don't want to have it capped? You know, I want to know why do you not want to have it capped? Why? Other than the fact, I mean, can you see the benefits of having it capped and everything? Or are you just looking from a, like, me, you know, type perspective or what?
Part of it is the me perspective, but I like not having to use regs because I've got an alchemist that uses all my regs. I've got an inscriptor that uses endless regs making scrolls. And also, I can hold so much more gold and other stuff when I don't have to carry regs. And when I go out and I have to buy regs, it's like now the way it is, at least on Atlantic, you go to this maid shop and this maid shop, and you have to go back hours and hours of reg hunting. And I don't go to Fell, so I don't harvest regs there.
Really, I never really saw harvesting regs as a profitable business or really something really worthwhile. You know, I guess that's just another you know, take on the whole regent gathering process, because I've never even picked up a regent in my life and put it in my backpack. And you know what? And I'm the kind of guy who, you know, if I don't have like 10K or something, I'll throw it down. If I don't have 3K of each, you know, 10K of each regent or something like that, or reg, you know, in my little pouch, or I have an odd number or something, it really bothers me to have an odd number of regs. And so I'll end up just throwing it down just for the very purpose that, you know, it's not like a nice round number or something like that. But that's just me and everything. And personally, I would like to see it capped and everything. And my guess is, if they end up capping it, it's going to be at 50%, just like Mr. Tack said it's going to be with the lower ammo cost, which is set to 50%. So, yeah, for all you people out there in the IRC chat asking, you know, what do you think it'll be capped at? Well, I'm thinking 50% for the simple fact that, you know, Mr. Tech has already come out and said that he's capping the lower ammo cost suits down to 50%. So that's my ideal as to what they will be capping the, you know, the LRC suits as well. So, you know, with that said and everything, I want to hear from Malik over here and see what you think about the capping of LRC. Are you in favor of it, or are you much like your wife over here who thinks it might be a bad idea to cap it, or what? Go ahead, Malik.
In some respects, I agree with Emma, but then again, I don't. From what I see, okay, we've got all these new talismans and everything for, like, summoning clean bandages and whatnot. And yes, I have a tamer, so I'm not bashing tamers. But, you know, a mage, he's going to have to run home and reg. He's not going to be able to sit there with his 5 or 6 bags ascending and just pound it out. So, I'm kind of undecided on it.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know, with that said and everything, we'll go over to Angel over here, who's from Greece and everything, and she does have a comment on the LRC cap. And so with that said, go ahead and say your little piece, Angel, as to whether or not you think he ought to be capped. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay. Let's see. I think it's not a good idea to have cup LRC, yeah?
Yep.
Because, I don't know, people got used to it, so it will be weird for them not to have it the next day, let's say. Also, most people have already decided where to spend their money, and they don't want to willingly buy regs.
Uh-huh.
Also, let me think. Well, okay, I'll tell you an example. Today I joined with my newbie character, and she had no regs stored in the bag, and she had to pick them from the floor. She had no recalls with her. So it was a no LRC suit, in fact. She was totally newbie. And that was weird. I felt really bad playing the specific moment. So I guess I don't like the cup in the LRC thing.
Yeah, that's totally understandable, and I can understand why some people would be pretty upset because, you know, you have these people who go out there and basically, you know, get this uber suit, you know, with LRC and everything, that has all these wonderful properties, and which took them forever to get this, you know, awesome suit and everything. And so, you know, you get these people who maybe spent 100 million gold or whatever else for this suit. And now, you know, you have somebody that's going to come in and say, well, we're going to put a cap on your suit and everything. And then, you know, and then that suit becomes totally worthless because, I mean, it's just like, you know, all that money you spent and everything just went up in smoke. It's like it was like it never happened. It's kind of like the saying, easy come, easy go. So go ahead, Emaleth. Go ahead and say whatever it is that you have on your mind.
I think if they were going to cap LRC, they should have done it from the beginning like they did with the lower ammo cost. Because like you said, a lot of people are used to their no LRC. They haven't bought regs in so long, they're not used to having to do it. And if they cap it, these people are going to be flat out screwed for a little while until they can go and stock up on their regs.
Yeah, it's a cruel world, isn't it? I have no sympathy. I'm evil today, right? But you know, just yeah, I do sympathize with you guys, seriously, though, in a way, because I can understand why you guys would be frustrated. But we also must understand that it was never really actually intended to be allowed as a replacement of regs. It was never intended to actually replace the regs. It was meant as a lower reg cost suit. And let's go over that real quick. Lower regent cost suit. Okay? Now, that doesn't mean, you know, regent replacement. Okay? There was no mention of replacing regents or anything. It was lower regent costs. Hence the, you know, abbreviations LRC. Okay? So, you know, you have to keep in mind this whole problem that we have today is because of the simple fact that I think, and this is my guess, I'm not saying this is the case, but I think they didn't foresee all the different possible endless combinations that could equal up to 100% or more. And so because of that, you have all these people who have, you know, due to lack of, you know, I guess lack of foresight, to perceive this problem or see this problem coming their way. And I think that was the biggest problem, is that they didn't think far ahead enough about it. And so now we're in a situation where it's hurting the game, but yet it's beneficial for the players, no doubt. But for the game overall, the health of the game, you know, it really doesn't make good economic sense to leave it into the game, and it doesn't make very good sense to have it replace something that should be a requirement in the game. Like I said, it was never meant as a replacement. It was meant as a lower regent cost. And by that, what I mean by that is that it's supposed to reduce the consumption amount of the regent and not replace it. And I think that's the problem in which a lot of people have problems accepting. And let's see. Sarah Swift over here is saying that LRC also doesn't say it can't replace Regent's Vice. Okay. Well, you know, that's my whole take on the whole issue and everything. Malik, did you have something that you wanted to add to that, or something that you wanted to say?
Well, you pretty well covered it. The only thing different that I was going to say was, you know, we've got power scrolls for 120 magery, etc. That would also be nice if they would give those mages that worked for that skill, you know, some kind of either an extra little bonus for the lower reg, you know, if they cap it at 50, give them like 55, or something to do with mana even, you know. It's just, you pretty much covered everything I wanted to say. Yeah, it was, like you said, to lower the regent costs, not replace them. So, yeah.
Yeah, and another thing is, and I do sympathize with you guys out there, and even though I'm in favor of capping of LRC, and I will put that out there, and I'm not going to shy away from it. I'm very strongly supportive of LRC cap, and here's why. And I could understand what it's going to do to you guys, because of the simple fact, you guys are going to be up against the archers who's got these quivers, insurable quivers, where they can put these quivers in there. And they can't be stolen, they can't be lost when they die or whatever, and, all this good stuff. But, my solution to that is this. I think the only way we're going to be able to curb that problem before it even happens is that you're going to have some kind of regent pouch, which I mentioned in one of my other talk shows a few weeks back. And I said, to make this fair on the mages and everything else, that once depending on the 100% LRC suit, to curb this problem, or to make the playing field level, they're going to have a regent pouch for this to work out. Otherwise, there's no way in heck this is going to be fair for those who have to carry around regents. There has to be a regent pouch, in my opinion. Maybe something that goes around the belt, waistline or something like that, that you can wear as a little belt, that takes up a item slot on your paper doll, or something along those lines. So, that's my whole philosophy about the LRC. And another reason I think LRC ought to be taken out is because, first of all, it's plugging up a gold sink. Regents is meant as a gold sink in the game. I think that's the reason it's there. And because of the 100% LRC suit, we are plugging up a gold sink, which basically is causing all this gold, and hear me out, all this gold to go into circulation and everything. And where does it have to go? Where does it go? It goes from one player to the next. It never actually leaves circulation. Just like the insurance, it never actually leaves circulation. If you was to get it like a percentage of the insurance, and a percentage of that insurance amount was to go and just disappear or whatever, like say 10 or 15%, then you would have a gold sink with the insurance thing. But the thing is, with the insurance, it don't go anywhere. It just goes from one player to the next, and I don't think that's right either. But that's another story. Okay? And I think this whole thing stemmed from the argument which I made about 2 or 3 or 4 weeks ago about the LAC, which is lower ammo cost. And if you guys remember reading on the U-Haul boards and everything, you remember me making a big old fuss about the LAC almost ending up exactly like the LRC. And even then, before the LAC came out, when it was still on the test shards and everything, you still have players over here saying, oh, we want it to be 100% like our, lower regent costs. Now, don't tell me that you have players out there who are complaining about, oh, well, I already got this. No, I think a lot of players would like to have unlimited amount of stuff. But then what are you ending up turning the game into? Are we going to have unlimited, 100% ingot suits where you can just craft armor all day long and then sell it to the vendors and stuff like that? Are you going to, end up with 100% lower wood cost or something like that, so you can make infinite amount of bows and sell those all day long to the vendors and stuff like that? I mean, think about it. You're just creating a problem for the economic side of things. And because of this, you're going to see things that rise up in value. And, for the people who already have property, items, high-end items in the game and stuff like that, they're going to be the ones benefiting from all this. And I'll tell you, the negative effect of that is any new players that come to the game, they're going to have to pay a whole lot more for the stuff that's in the game, or for a piece of property or a piece of high-end item, just to be able to PvP with. Or you're going to have people, and then on top of that, you're going to have the value of gold just drop through the floor. I mean, it's going to be so worthless that, for 50 cents you can buy 1,000,000 gold. It's getting to that point. It's already down to, I think, $3 or $4 or $5 a million, somewhere around there. Anywhere from $3 to $7 a million. That's the average price of 1 million gold nowadays. And so because of that, and you may not think, well, you're like, well, what does that have to do with anything we're talking about? Well, you know, that's going to also increase the price in which you pay for game time codes. So for all you guys out there who are paying for game time codes with your UO gold, you're going to end up having to pay more because of all these economic problems that are building up, which players refuse to address. I mean, it's just one of those situations where, for example, if your country has a national deficit, do you ignore the problem or do you take care of the problem so that way you don't have a national deficit? Because you can ignore the problem for as long as you want, but that debt's still going to be there and it's going to continue to grow before it becomes a problem that's too much for you guys to handle. So, you know, you have to think of it from an economic standpoint of view, and I think if you guys were to do that, you know, I think the game would be a better game as a whole from an economic aspect. And, you know, you just have to be very open-minded for a lot of reasons and because of that. Do any of you guys have any comments that you would like to add to that? If so, please turn on your little channel commander at the top by going to the top under Connections, Channels, Players, Self, and then going down to Channel Commander, and it'll turn your green light to a red light, and it'll let me know that you have a comment or a question which you would like to make in regards to what's being said. So with that said, go ahead, Malik.
All right, I have to agree with you. The economics of it, to put this into play, it will help a lot. I mean, if you think about a lot of the things out there for sale right now, for 25 mil, 40 mil, 50 mil, you know, your average player doesn't have that kind of gold just hanging around. I think it's going to bring some prices down on some things to make it so that the average player can maybe start affording some of this stuff.
Yeah, I totally agree with you and everything, and that's the whole concept behind, you know, capping some of these things that are creating an economic problem for the game, because, you know, we're ignoring the problem. Yes, you know, people love it. You know, don't get me wrong. I'm sure everybody would love to have a 100% LRC suit, you know, with all the best properties that you can imagine. But the fact is, it's ruining the economy, and it has to be. We have to take a hardline approach. And yes, it's nothing that anybody's going to relish, you know. But it's just one of those things you have to do. Otherwise, you may not have a game where a new player can come in and be able to come out with anything. They're going to leave the game because of the fact that it's so hard for them to get anything to be able to just, you know, go out and fight a monster, because they're going to have these little crafty GM-made weapons, and that's about the best they're going to get, or some weapon they bought off a vendor, you know, an NPC, and that's all they're going to be able to afford under the current course of actions, or a current course in which we're going on. So something's got to change. Something's definitely got to change for that very reason. Otherwise, you're always going to keep seeing the subscriber base continually dwindle away, you know, gradually. Go ahead, Angel.
Okay, I have to say this. I don't think that a new player has to have a lot of money in order to start, or some weapons in order to train in the first place, in order to get started, are not that expensive for him. I remember when I started, we used to have like 100 coins. Now they get 1,000. I don't know, I didn't make a new player recently, but I guess it's 1,000 still. I don't think also that LRC, changing the LRC thing and capping it, or whatever that's supposed to be, will fix the economy. I mean, okay, we have more worse problems than the LRC thing. We have eBay. We have people having everything just by paying with real money. That's a real problem, not LRC. Okay, it will help reduce the money some people have in their bank stored, but it's not the only thing that will help fix the economy.
Very good point. And, I'd like to reiterate, it's not going to be the one thing that, solves all the problems with the economy, but it will be one thing that is a step in the right direction to getting us to where we can start addressing some of these issues. And the thing is, back in your day when you started, when you only had 100 gold, I would imagine that's also back in the day when you didn't have item properties and everything like that. So it was whole lot easier to build up your skills then than it is now, because nowadays you have item properties and everything else to go along with it. And and quite frankly, 1,000 gold nowadays, I'm sorry, if you try to offer me 1,000 gold, I would probably laugh. I would probably seriously laugh, because 1,000 gold is not even worth my time, because there's so much gold in the game. 1,000 gold absolutely means absolutely nothing to me, and I'm talking, from a perspective of someone who has hundreds of millions of gold sitting in his bank. And I can tell you, it means absolutely nothing to me, 1,000 gold. And it's not because, the simple fact, that, I didn't go out and farm all this. Just bear with me. But you have people that can go out and make 1,000,000 gold, or 2,000,000 gold, if you know how to do it right, that is, in 1 or 2 hours. 1 or 2 hours, if you go to the right places, know what you're doing, you can very easily make 1,000,000 or 2,000,000 gold in a few hours. So, I like I said, I don't think LRC is going to address the overall problem with the economy, but it will definitely be, a step in the right direction. And I think we're going to have to start making some tough decisions as to how to address all these problems, all these little minor problems that are creating one big problem in the game. And that's what we're going to have to start doing, is start, addressing small things at a time to make a overall solution for the game. Otherwise, it really defeats the whole purpose. I mean, if you look at hair dyes, neon hair dyes, do people really use that anymore? If you look at the museum system in which we got with Modaine's Legacy, how popular is it? Is it still being widely used today? And how effective is it in, removing resources and gold from the game and stuff like that? Is it really a gold sink? No. Because the simple fact, you put resources and not gold into the game. All that's, in my opinion, all that the museum system is doing is encouraging people to script and go out and get these resources, not encouraging them to put gold into the museums to create a gold sink. I think the best way to address the economy and stuff like that, would be if the museum was like a gold sink, where it's more favorable to just donate the gold, and then that way you get the gold out of the system. I mean, that's my take. Any opinions? Okay, go ahead, Emaleth.
Okay, what I see with the museum and the zoo and all them, yeah, you can donate gold, but not everybody has all that gold to donate. So like my account, one of my favorite characters is my mule. She can mine, she can go get boards, and I can turn that in on her, and I don't have to worry about, okay, there's something else I want in game. I need this much gold for it, but I want to do this too. I can take the extra boards I get, because I have no other real use for them. I can take them and donate them and get the points and get some spiffy little thing from the museum or what's the other one? Not the zoo. The library, that's right. And it gives people more options of how to get this stuff without using gold.
Yeah, that's totally understandable and everything, but, if you want to think about it, you could easily convert the resources into gold. So, for all these people who are out mining all these resources and everything, they could easily convert it into gold by going to sell it to an NPC or to a player or something like that. That would actually create more interaction between the player base and the and the system, because then, if you was to convert your resources into gold, then you would actually have to either go to an NPC, which would buy a limited amount, and it gets cheaper and cheaper as you sell more and more and more, or you can go and sell it to a player and then have, interaction there. And I think the developers want to move in a direction where there's more interaction between the players. But what kind of interaction do you have between the players if players are going out scripting, all these resources and everything, and never actually, interacting with the player during the course of any of this hard working process? I mean, that's my take. Go ahead, Malik.
That's exactly what I was going to say. We have too many scripters. I know I've been working mining on my Smithy character, and it seems like everywhere I go, a character recalls in, digs that spot, recalls out, recalls right back in, digs that spot, recalls out. By the time I get around to where I need to be, that guy's recalled in and out and mined all the good things and left nothing but the iron. I mean, and I seen what was that? It was by Shame. Somebody doing the same thing at different trees, recalling in, recalling out, recalling in, recalling out. And these people are cornering the market on your bloodwoods, all your your new resources as well. There's got to be something done about that too, in order for this economy to come back into some kind of focus.
Yeah, very good point and everything. And while we're on the topic of scripting and everything, I read a post on the U-Haul boards where this one guy was actually playing on his shard and everything, standing right next to the guy that was scripting, and this guy was just scripting for at least 30 minutes on the same tree in the same spot. Called a page a GM, nobody ever came. Me personally, I think they ought to have at least one person on that team who's a GM, that just goes around and answer all these calls about unattended scripters, so that way we can get these kind of players who are dictating the market, dictating the price of what you get for your resources. I mean, it gets me frustrated, the fact that, my resources, the resources I go out and work hard and actually legitimately, get it legitimately, legit, through a legit means and everything. It gets me upset that, what I can get for my boards and iron and stuff like that. It really upsets me that it's being dictated by some scripter, because they're flooding the market with all these boards, all these ingots and everything else, and driving the value of those boards and the ingots, in which I worked so hard for, down, to where you can just easily get it. And then on top of that, you have all these people who are just producing, just by the thousands, hundreds of thousands, mass producing these boards, ingots, and everything else. How can the normal player or the average player, how can they even compete with something like that when they're selling cheaper and in more greater quantities than the average player? Now, this is really hurting the players of Ultima Online, and it really ticks me off. I really think that they ought to have somebody, just one, at least one person dedicated to responding to those kind of pages. Anytime there's a scripter or something, and I guarantee you'll see a reduction of unattended scripters. I know EA can very well either fix the problem with some kind of coding, or they can either have somebody dedicated to the job or task of going around looking for unattended scripters. Go ahead, Angel.
I don't really think they can tell whether someone is using a third-party program. And there's much about everything. You can drain everything with a third program. Cutting trees, hiding, snooping, blah, 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 blah. Everything. Everything. But I don't think they can get into your computer, tell which character your account is, etc., and kick you out, because I think they would have done it by now. So many people use third parties, and they've done nothing about it.
Well, I think the way they could actually crack down on stuff like that is if they were to say, go up to the person, to the scripter, at least the scripter, let's just say if they were scripting, at least make them have to sit at their computer. Don't let them script unattended. I mean, really, folks, scripting is not the problem. Scripting unattended is the problem. That's the problem which we're having here. A player that can go, and script unattended and amass all these resources and stuff, and a GM go up to the person and say, are you there? Are you there? That would cut down on that problem right there. That is how you can tell if a person's unattended scripting or not. And, anything at all. If they were to say anything at all, I don't care if they know how to speak English or not. If they said anything at all in response to, are you there, or anything of those lines, I think you would then have something, something that would indicate that, yes, someone is actually there at the computer. Go ahead, Angel.
Well, I don't think that's too easy because they have 10 people working as GMs per 8 hours. I don't know how this thing goes, but we have so many charts, we have so many players, and it won't be that easy. Control everyone. I mean, okay, we have 10 people paging, and you wait half an hour. Imagine you have to wait 8 hours to get all the how you say them, the bad boys that use third program thing. Okay.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that you're not going to be able to capture them all, and I do acknowledge that. But the thing is, it's going to be a deterrent, something that's going to make people think about it before they do it. And now, if there's people that are getting banned because of this type of activity, and it's just like in real life, there's not enough police officers or enough cops out there that are going to go out there and catch every bad guy out there. But if you arrest enough people who are doing bad activities, it would make a person think, well, do I really want to take this risk of getting caught and, having my account banned? You have to ask yourself that. Do they really want to take that risk? And I guarantee you, if we was to start cracking down, it would actually reduce the number of people that would actually go willingly out there and script unattended. And if you had, yes, they might have limited staff, but my question is, and I need to ask EA this sometime, is whether or not they have GMs around the clock 24 hours a day. Now, that's something I would like to ask the people, because sometimes I get the impression there's some, certain hours of the day where there's just no GMs at all. But yeah, I think they ought to at least have one dedicated GM to the task of going around and busting people who are supposedly unattended scripting. Go ahead, Emaleth.
Okay, I completely agree with somebody being there to bust the scripters, but I also know there are scripts made that a GM is called on someone that's scripting, and the script will actually hold a conversation with the GM. So you can't always bust someone that way. And then, they have scripts, like Angel said, for everything. I don't mind. If you're sitting there working your skills, go for it. But unattended macroing, no. We've had some friends in-game that we've just stopped playing with because that's all they did. They'd set their macros, set their script to go. They'd go off to work, go to bed, do whatever. And the next day they come in and they're GM'd or whatever, and nothing ever happened to them. I've noticed the people that get hurt are the ones that are just doing it once or twice, and it's just their sheer dumb luck. Something calls them away from the computer, and that's when they get busted.
Yep. Well, I guess that's the risk you take whenever you do scripting, because I personally do not have any compassion for those people, even if it was by sheer luck that they only did it once or twice, or even the first time, and they get somehow called away from the computer, get busted by sheer luck, or dumb luck, whatever you want to call it. And I don't feel sorry at all for those kind of people. I really don't. Go ahead, Angel.
Okay, this I had to say. When I first joined, I quit for a couple of years, and then I came back, and I was okay, guys, what changed? Please help me, etc., etc. And some guy proposed to me to use a third-party program. I won't say the name. And I was, okay, I'll try it. And I downloaded, I tried it. I had no idea that was illegal. Okay, and I'm not English. I didn't read anywhere about that. I didn't know it was illegal. I didn't know it. I just didn't. And I used it for a couple of days, and then for my good luck, let's say, they patched something, and it didn't work. And I said, okay, it's broken. It doesn't work anymore. I guess they changed it, and I stopped using it. But after playing for a couple of months, I learned it's a third party. Maybe some people use it and they don't know it's illegal or something.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if we could ever talk to people at this third party website, which I know of. I wonder if we can convince them to put a disclaimer. Oh, this is illegal, and by downloading this account or this program, you are putting your account at risk. Now, wouldn't that be a nice disclaimer to have up on that website? I'm kind of curious as to how many people would actually still go through and download, even with a disclaimer saying, you know, if you download this program, you put yourself at risk of having your account banned or terminated. Yeah, that would actually be kind of interesting to see if people used it still or not. That way, there's no doubt in anybody's mind whether or not the program's illegal in the game of Ultima Online. That is. So that's actually. Unless there's any more comments, we're actually going to move on to our next subject here and everything. Any comments, opinions, or any last words on that about scripting? Nope. Nope. Okay. Well, we're going to go down to the next thing here. There was actually a post up on Stratix, which was made by JC the Builder, about the, some of you guys, I don't know how long some of you guys have played, but I don't know if you guys remember this, but back in the old days, we used to have an opening chest box for the login screen. Do you guys by any chance remember that? And if so, do you think they ought to bring that back, or what are your thoughts and opinions on that? And I don't know if you guys have seen that post yet or not, but if you have, let me know what your thoughts are on it. Angel, do you have any thoughts on it?
Sorry, I didn't hear the question. Sorry.
No problem.
I was too busy typing.
No problem. The question was, the opening chest box that they used to have on the old login screen. Would you like to see that come back?
I don't understand.
Okay, well, I guess you would have to see it to understand. So, with that said, I'm actually just turning over to Emaleth and see if she has any comments on it, since I guess you don't know about the opening chest box. Maybe that was before your time. So with that said, Emaleth, do you have any comments on it?
I'm pretty sure that was before my time. I started playing after Lord Blackthorn went live, but I was still on Ren. So I've got no clue what you're talking about.
Oh, you guys are no fun. I guess Malik doesn't know what I'm talking about either, or do you, Malik?
I haven't actually seen it, but I did read that post, and it sounds like something I would like to see.
Yeah, if anybody can pull up that little post about the treasure chest or on Stratix, please pull it up and give it over to Angel so she has a better understanding of what I'm talking about. So, if you can give that to her, that'd be great. So, with that said, since nobody has any comments or don't know anything about it, all I can say is, it's a sad thing for you guys. Okay. Let's see. But me personally, I would like to see it come back. I thought it was great. It had the little chimes to it and everything, and you'd have to see it to understand what I'm talking about. Okay, next question here. Okay, go ahead, Angel.
Just tell us why it's good for it to come back.
Because the reason I thought it was a good thing is because, first of all, it was like a treasure box. You logged into the game or you launched the game, and you sat there and this treasure box that was closed would open up, and you had all these options in the box, and it looked like gems, right? So you clicked on a gem like Enter Britannia, intro, setup, and stuff like that. And when it was opening up, you heard this little Stones tune, the Ultima Online Stones tune. It was such a pretty melody, and then you were just like waiting to get into the game. It just like made a special feeling for the game. It just brought about a special feeling. It's like something that you was looking forward to. To seeing. It's like opening up a treasure box and you're seeing a pile of gold there, and you're like getting all excited about it. And that's the kind of feeling I got whenever I saw the opening chest box from the old days for the login screen. And it was actually a pretty neat thing. I'll have to dig up the link for you while one of you guys are talking. Go ahead, Angel.
Do you mean the intro thing when you load the game? You see a chest opening, and it had a red bottom, sorry.
Yeah, red button.
I think I still see that because I use the Raise. I have an old CD, okay, and I installed it before I put ML. I used to see that box. It depends on the CD I think you use.
Okay, well let me give you a link so you can make sure understand what I'm talking about. Here's the link. I'm going to put it in the IRC chat. And here you go. So there you go, and you can look over there as we're talking about the next subject, which we're going to go to. And the rest of you guys can also check that out. It's a Flash movie file, so check it out. We're going to go over to and talk about what do you think about the player petitions? Do you think they do any good? Do you think EA actually looks at the player petitions and which players put out there? And do you think it ever accomplishes anything? Yes or no? So go ahead and, Emaleth, do you think it accomplishes anything by any chance?
I think quite a few of the developers and all that have their own little pet projects, and if what the players want isn't what they want, they're going to ignore most of it. Because people have been calling for this bug fixed or that bug fixed for so long, and then the developers are like, well, we're going to fix this first, something that's only been around real short and is not really bothering anybody.
Yeah. And what about you, Malik? What do you think?
My opinion is, I think they spent a lot of time on making changes to the game, like LRC cap. I mean, a lot of these changes are good for the game. I would like to see, a lot more of the bugs fixed faster than more changes made. I went killing orc brutes the other day, and I killed the first two, and I got loot. I killed the next few. I got nothing. The boxes were empty. Their corpses had nothing. It's a bug with the new orc summoning thing they've got for that talisman. And, there are other bugs similar to this that really need to be looked at. And we're hearing more about changes rather than bug fixes. So I would like to see them maybe split, have this team really focus hard on the bug fixes, and this team work on the new content, put it all together on a new, on a test chart, test it, and I don't know, maybe have some more results, longer testing for some of this stuff. I think a lot of the testing isn't long enough, and then after it hits the shards live, they find more bugs than what they started with, and then that's more bugs that they've got to deal with. And the original bug either did or didn't get fixed completely. Yeah, that's pretty much what I think. More bug fixes. New content is great, but more bug fixes.
Yeah. Well, my personal take on the petitions and everything, I think it's great that players are very avid in what they believe in. I'm glad that players have hope that their petition will somehow catch the eyes and ears of the developers and catch their attention and, get them to sit down and, address whatever issue is being petitioned. But quite frankly, I don't think they read those petitions. I don't think they, because, come on, let's think about it. How long has the pre-UOR debate, petitions, and everything else been going on for? Seriously. It's been going on for 5 years. 5 years, and it still has not been addressed. It has not, I don't even think it's ever even received any type of official response, even during those 5 years. Like, oh, yes, we're going to do this, or yes, or no, we ain't going to do that. I think they've been pretty much silent on that whole issue for 5 years and everything else. So, I really don't see petitions or petitioning EA or something like this, or any type of special feature in the game or anything like of that nature. I don't see it being very effective. That's why I don't even bother with petitions anymore. Go ahead, Angel.
Okay, I have a theory about what you said about people talking and arguing about the UOR something thing. Just because we haven't played the old-fashioned way, it makes us miss it. Because we see now how the game changed, the new changes, what things have been added, etc., etc. And we look back and seek for the old game. If we still had the old game, and this some people won't understand it, it will be so boring after playing it for like 6, 7, 8 years. They don't seem to get this, and they keep complaining and complaining like it will change. Okay, it was better back then, but don't forget we were newbies. We were exploring the game. It was nice. I mean, everything new is interesting. I'm sorry. Everything new, it's interesting. But after a while, it gets boring. Just because they changed it and they added something new, people complain about it. I think they still would complain if there was no Trimble, if there was no samurai thing, if there was no ancient, how you say? I don't know. I'm sorry, guys.
No problem. I don't know what word you're actually looking for. But yeah, I do have the general idea of what you're trying to say is pretty much, basically that if players were to play under the old system, there wouldn't be no fresh new content. And it would eventually get boring. But, for me, I'm looking at Trimble, and I go, oh my God, I've been playing this for 5 years. It is getting old. And whereas I played, Feluca for close to 2 years, and you see my argument in that regards, because even though they add content to Trimble, it's nothing that really appeals to me, because I'm more of a guy or more of a player who believes in more realistic aspects to the game. I don't like all the absurd or far-fetched or totally crazy ideals for the game that makes it fantasy, if it's fantasy that you want to bring into the game, at least make it believable, to an extent. Don't make it so unbelievable that it can't even be imagined a possibility of relating to real life. I mean, you cannot possibly roleplay something and pretend that you got this purple sword and say, oh, I'm gonna roleplay like I got a purple sword. I mean, I can't picture myself ever having a purple sword in real life. I can't put myself into the character because the simple fact is so unrealistic that I cannot roleplay that character because of the simple fact that this golden sword or that this purple sword or this blue neon sword or something like that is just so unrealistic for me. I'm sorry. I want a sword that looks decent, and I could maybe picture a sword with flames on it, but give me a sword that's entirely neon purple or some other crazy color that's the blade and the handle is all the same color, I'm sorry, but if you're going to give me a flame sword or something like that that has a flame properties or fire properties on it like that, give me a sword that's got flames coming from it, by God. You know, give me something that can, you know, that I can actually fathom and say, oh, this is a flame sword, and I can picture myself with a flame sword just swinging it around like crazy. Yes, I can just picture that, but I can't picture a sword that's orange handle and sword and all, the blade and all. I mean, I'm sorry, but that just disgusts me. That's the thing that really has turned me off about the game. I don't know who came first. I think Malik came first, so go ahead.
I'm entirely with you on that. I mean, even if it wasn't pre-Ren or pre-Trammel, when I first started the game, I came in Renaissance, so I really don't know anything about pre-Ren. I miss the old days. I miss the full Val suit without having to use some Takuno dye to make my suit all one color. I miss the deck floss you got from a Val suit versus leather. Metable armor, I mean, no. That was leather, you know. All these colors and stuff, this is great for, I guess, your imaginative type player, but I'm a realist. I liked the way UO when I started felt closer to the heart, I guess, with your skills as your base, and your items were just your armor was exactly armor. It protected you. Healing was healing. Resist was resist. Arms lore was actually a viable skill. There's so many skills now that are pretty well useless versus actually needing them back then. So, yeah, I'm with you, Vice, on that. I'd like to see the game more realistic and not so far-fetched.
Yeah, I want to see myself get my hair on fire and be bald so Angel can be happy with it. Go ahead, Angel.
Okay, you misunderstood what I said. I didn't say I like the changes. I didn't say I like the the orange purple things and stuff, and I don't like the ninja. Oh my God, when Samurai first came out, I was crazy. I hated the Samurai thing and all that because it doesn't match with Ultima Online. But what I meant was it's good to have some changes. And okay, when it was only Feluca, okay, some people used also third-party programs, and they would PK you because you had a slow connection. They would bug you because you were alone and not with 5 more guys protecting you and all that. It was annoying for some people back then, and some people wanted the changes. Trammel helped a little bit, but okay, EA, Electronic Arts, did some stupid things, I have to admit.
Well, I mean, would you like to see me burn my hair off and be bald for you? I mean, wouldn't that in any way, like, appeal to you? Angel?
You said you will... okay, I won't say this. Okay, I'm sorry. No, I wouldn't want to see that. Why are you laughing? I'm telling the truth. I wouldn't like it, but who knows? If they make it, I might like it.
I was joking with you. You say, like, earlier you was talking about how you like people with bald heads and everything, who shave their heads and everything. So I was thinking, well, you know, just burn it off and, you know, bald head.
Well, you had no hair, so sorry.
Oh, no, no, no. That was a long time ago. I got hair now. I was just joking around. But go ahead, Emaleth.
Okay, a bit ago you were talking about like with the flame swords and all that. I'm okay with some of the swords having those special colors, but just the blade. The whole sword being that color looks so stupid. It looks like you just dropped it in a pile of purple goo and it stuck to your hand. I mean, I don't like that. And I mean, I remember back when, before you could wear ringmail mage armor. I'm sorry, mage armor, yeah, good thing, but it's not. They need female ringmail for one thing. And I completely forgot what else I was going to say.
Yeah, okay. Well, we got some callers that are in the call-in room who want to come over here and basically give their little take on over here. So we're going to go ahead and drag Winterfrost and Grasshopper Little. So we're going to drag Grasshopper Little down in here first. So with that said, hello there, Grasshopper Little. I guess that's how you say it. And go ahead and say whatever you have to say, and tell us what shard you play on. You got anything to say? Well, I guess not. So what we'll do is, okay, he doesn't have a mic set up. Okay, well, then we'll put him back over there, and we'll drag Winterfrost down here. So Winterfrost, you know, here she is. Please introduce yourself by telling us, you know, pretty much your name, Winterfrost, and what shard you play on. No mic either? Well, you gotta have a mic.
I have a mic.
Okay, go ahead. Do you have anything that you want to say in regards to what we was just talking about, which is about the colored weapons and stuff like that?
No, I don't have anything to say about the color of weapons, really, I swear.
Okay, well, then I guess that means we can move along to our next subject here and everything. So, with that said, unless you guys have any opinions or anything else you want to add on to that, so if you have anything you want to say, by the way, Winterfrost, just go up to the top. You have connections, channels, players, and self. Under self, you'll see channel commander. Just click on that, and that'll turn your green light to a red light. That'll indicate to me you either have a comment or that you have a question in which you would like to throw out there or something like that. So just let me just turn that little red light on whenever you're ready to say something, and that'll indicate to me that you're ready. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and move on to our next topic at hand. And I'm kind of curious as to whether or not you guys think if there ought to be an in-game polling system where people can go and vote on a particular hot topic. For example, you know, can we vote on the LRC, or can we vote on, you know, well, by LRC I mean the capping of LRC, whether or not players want to see that capped or not, and maybe vote on the things like such as pre-UOR, you know, stuff like that, you know. I think those kind of things ought to be on a in-game public voting system. What do y'all think about that? I'm kind of curious as to what y'all think about that. Emaleth, do you have anything that you want to say on that?
Yeah, I would like to see something like that come in, but there's a good chance, like with the player polls, the developers would look at them and go, well, we're going to do what we want anyways. And so it would be a good idea. People would get the idea of how other players feel, but it may not change anything.
Yeah. Winterfrost, go ahead and say what it was that you wanted to say as well.
Well, I just think that people think that a pre-UOR shard, a pre-Renaissance shard, is the answer to all their problems, and I think they're wrong.
Oh, well, let me put you on the spot for a minute, if you don't mind. Why do you think they might be wrong about that, or can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Well, they're remembering back the way it was, okay? And yes, it was good then, but there were a lot fewer players. The average age of the player was a lot higher. The mentality was a lot different. There was no eBay. There were very few, you know, hack programs. There was no scripting. It's a whole different ballgame out there now, and what they're going to end up with is basically what they have on the other shard with less stuff, but they're going to have the same cheaters and exploiters and eBayers and everything else that they just didn't have back pre-Ren.
All right, and just for the record, what shard do you play on?
Pick one. I mainly play Chesapeake, but I'm also on Lake Superior and Origin and the test shard, and I have characters on about 10 other shards.
Okay, so Chesapeake you actually call your home shard, right?
Yeah, Chesapeake and Origin, basically.
Okay. And just for the record, and everybody out there knows, Angel here with us. She's from Greece, so that's why she's got the accent. And secondly, she plays on Europa, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right about that, Angel?
Yeah, you're right. And what's wrong with my language? I don't understand.
There's nothing wrong. I just, some people want to know where other people are from. For example, if you have a German on, some people want to know what nationality.
Okay.
So with that said and everything, any other comments about the in-game polling system idea? You think it'd be good or bad or anything else? No? Okay, well, I guess we'll just move on to our next topic here, which is going to be, there's a lot of reports, as you guys probably know about. There's a lot of reports on the U-Haul boards about people getting hacked. Do you suspect this being related to the security issues, with there not being an HTTPS, on the webpage, or basically a secure webpage, or do you think this is with regards to the emails that have been going out with, people getting their emails in which they didn't request, or what? What do you think is causing all these people to get their accounts hacked all of a sudden? I'm kind of curious. Anybody have a comment on that? If so, please turn on your little channel commander light at the top so I know that you have something that you want to respond to. And so with Emaleth, do you have anything that you want to say on that?
I was trying to help Mal with the baby, and I completely forgot the question.
No problem. It's basically about a lot, in-game, there's a lot of people that have been getting their accounts hacked and everything. Do you suspect that being with the, as a result of the insecure webpage, or do you think that's because of the passwords being sent out to people who did not request the password be sent to them?
I think it's probably a combination of both. Because, if a site that you give all your information through like that isn't secure, any lame hacker, a guy just starting out could, just hack right in there, get all your information right there, and then find out your password for your account, and then check, put like those programs that record your keystrokes, find out your email address, your password, and then go in there through there and get it. I think it's probably a vicious circle between those two.
Yeah. Okay. And Malik, do you by any chance have any comments on that?
Yeah, use your POP3 account.
I totally agree with that. Definitely use a POP3 account because, it goes only one place. It's not saved on any server or anything because it comes right to your computer. So I feel a little bit more secure having the emails sent directly to my computer and there not being any record on the server, left on the server, unless you use IMAP, of course. Then you have a saved copy on the server as well. We're going to go ahead and bring Hop a Little down here from Great Lakes and see if he has anything to say. Howdy there, Grass Hop a Little. How you doing this afternoon? I don't even know. Okay, your microphone is still messed up at the moment, so let me know when you get it figured out, and then we will bring you back down here. So just put in the IRC or PM me once you have it figured out. All right. Let's see. Any other comments about that for anybody?
Well, the last 3 people I know who've been hacked were hacked through their mail. So I think right now the current hacker du jour thing is going through the mail. Okay. Well, good. Okay. Well, that's not good. What I mean is, at least we have an idea as to what it's coming from.
Okay, well, with that said, we're going to actually go on to our next topic here. We got about 12 minutes remaining in our talk show and everything before we wrap it up. We're going to talk about the deletion of character, deleting characters. So basically, whenever you delete a character, your character automatically goes poof. It's gone forever. There's no safeguard. There's no feature in there where you have to type in a password before you finalize the deletion of a character or something like that. I'm kind of curious as to whether or not you guys think that there ought to be like a safeguard, like in the old days, back in the old days. I don't know if you guys were around back then, but in the old days, if you tried to delete a character, you actually got prompted for your password to verify that you indeed want to delete the character in question. So my question is whether or not do you guys think there ought to be a feature in the client where if you want to delete a character, you get another prompt saying, are you sure you want to delete this character, or a prompt to enter your password to basically confirm that you indeed want to delete a character. Go ahead, Angel.
If I'm not mistaken, when you try to delete a character, a window pops up and tells you you're going to delete your character. Are you sure? And you accept or not? I mean...
Is that how he is right now?
Sorry?
Is that how he is right now?
Well, last time I tried to delete a character, it said so.
Okay, well, it very well may be the same way as then. I just don't know, because I didn't actually go out and confirm or test this myself. But if that is the case, I think they ought to have a feature in there where it actually asks for confirmation of the deletion of the character. Go ahead, Emaleth.
I'm speaking for Mal, too, because he's got the baby attacking him. But now, when you delete a character, it pops up the window, like Angel said, are you sure you want to delete this character? And you can choose yes or no, but it doesn't ask for your password. There was a couple of characters when I first started, I wish that I had to punch in my password, because after I deleted them, I'm like, oh no, I forgot to get this off of that character, or I didn't really want to delete that character, I should have kept them. And this way it also keeps other people from going, ooh, what's this key do? And then kid deleting a character that's got all your stuff on it.
Yeah, definitely. If you do something in haste, where you're quickly, just trying to go out and delete a character, and you're not really giving it much thought, this would actually require you to give it a little bit more thought as to what you're doing, rather than accidentally hit, you accidentally hit the delete button, and then you accidentally hit the delete button confirmation. Oh my God, that would just be terrible. So maybe a password would be the better option in a situation like this. Go ahead, Angel.
Why so? I don't agree with this. I mean, you press one button in order to delete, okay? And you have to press another button. Just typing your password, what would change? I mean, okay, you would have thought that you forgot some things in your character already before trying to delete it. Within seconds, nothing would change. I mean, you'll still deleting the character. I'm not getting this.
Yeah, well, I guess there's a lot of things that can happen whenever you're acting in haste to where, you just don't really think, and that happens a lot with Americans typically. Oh, go ahead, Emily.
Not to me. And what is haste?
Huh? Haste means to basically quickly do something without giving it thought, or quickly do something. That's basically what it means. Do you understand that word?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, excellent. Go ahead, Emaleth.
I like what Ryu was saying in the chat, like individual character passwords. Like you have to type in a certain word just for that character to be able to delete it, because this way you make double sure that you really want to delete that character. Because if you go, okay, yes, I want to delete that character, and you think, oh no, just as you hit yes, this way it gives you a second chance. And I think that was it.
All right. And Angel, did you have something that you want to say?
about what Emaleth just said. Okay, from what I think, Electronic Arts has some computer set, okay, and they keep our data from the accounts, from the characters, from everything. Imagine if they have to keep all 4 or 5 or 6 characters from each account, so they have that character specific password. It's too much waste of space, computer space, without being necessary to, you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I think she pretty much understands. Yeah, I understand at least. Basically, what you're saying is that, it's just really unnecessary from EA's perspective to basically put in extra features, basically, just to, so that way somebody can go, oh, well, I want to restore my character and bring him back. And, yeah, I totally understand what you're saying. Go ahead, Malik.
The only thing I was thinking was if you had to put in your password in order to delete just one character, okay? There are many times when I've clicked on, I've put my password in, logged in, got the shard screen, chose my shard, and it got to the character screen, and then something happened with one of the kids, and I walk away, and my youngest come over and start clicking on the computer with the mouse. Okay. Just say she hits the delete button and somehow manages to go ahead and hit the OK. I lost my character. If you had to put in just your password, not an individual password for each character, but just your normal password, it would stop people with kids from maybe losing things they didn't want to lose.
Very good point. Very good point. I actually like that argument what you brought up, because that actually is a possibility, especially with with a lot of kids running around the house. And I think you guys do have like 2 or 3 kids, right?
Yeah, we've got 3.
All right. Yeah, that's a very good point that you bring up there. All right. Let's see. We're gonna give Grasshopper another try and everything. Let's see. I think. And hold on. Actually, as a matter of fact, never mind. We're actually going to go to our next topic here, which is basically, we got 5 minutes, so let me have a look here. Any other comments before we go on to our next question here?
I have an idea.
Sure.
Okay, as it is now, you have to wait 7 days to delete a new character. Why can't they switch that around so it's 7 days to delete any character, and you can stop the process at any time before the character is actually gone?
Yeah, that would actually be a good idea as well. But I think some people just want to have it instantly delete a character and make a new character right there on the spot, right there and then, rather than have to wait around to actually have a character removed. I know I don't like the fact, whenever I make a new character and then I realize, oh, well, I don't really want this template, and then all my slots are taken up, and all my other characters are fully developed characters, and yet this one new character has not the perfect template that I wanted, and now I have to wait 7 days to delete this new character. I don't even like that feature, to be honest. I don't understand why you would want to wait 7 days before you can delete a new character. I don't understand the reasoning behind that, but I can understand
there is a reason behind.
Okay, go ahead.
It was made because people were spawning newbies in the bajillions, and at that point, the stuff you got when you created a character was newbified, so they'd be spawning newbie mages and getting oodles and oodles and oodles of newbie regs and 1,000 gold a pop, and they'd be making insane amounts of money doing it, and that's why they did that.
Yeah, that's a very good possibility, but I don't even think that's the issue anymore nowadays. I guess the only thing that would be an issue nowadays would be the fact that you would get I don't even know if they're blessed anymore, the clothing and stuff like that, or not. But
No.
Okay. Emaleth, go ahead.
Actually, on one of my characters, I have a newbie cloak whenever she dies because she runs out of insurance money so often. That is the one thing left on her when I get rezzed. It's always in her pack. So some things may not be, but quite a few things still are.
The
Okay.
stuff that used to be newbie is still newbie, but nothing that you get now is newbie.
Okay. Well, okay. I guess that all makes sense there now. And I'm going to say that's what I like about having multiple different people, because then you get different perspectives, then you get answers that you don't really necessarily have and stuff like that. So definitely a great thing that you know all that and everything. So with that, and I was actually going to say, what was I going to say? Something about the new characters and everything. I don't like the fact that you have to wait. If it's not that way anymore, I think they ought to remove that feature, where you have to wait 7 days. The only thing I could see that a person can do to abuse that would be to basically make 1,000 gold by, creating a character, dropping it somewhere, or dropping it off somewhere, and then deleting the character and make a new character. But really, are you going to want to sit there and make 1,000 gold every time you make a new character, over and over and over and over again, when you can probably make that fighting a Hmong back nowadays? So I don't know. Yeah, so I think you can get up to like 100 gold off a Hmong bat now. Go ahead, Angel.
I think the only reason they have like 7 days is just to control the whole thing and not have people making and deleting every day 10,000 times a week or something. I think if someone has to create a character and wait 7 days, I'm sure he'll forget it and wait like 10 days or even play that character. But in a day, it will be like a routine, let's say.
Yeah, I guess I can understand from a technical aspect that it would actually put more stress on the server and stuff like that if they were to, make it unlimited to where a person could basically, delete a character, create a character, delete a character, create a character, and over and over and over, again. Yeah. So, yes, there is still 7 days in effect and everything, and so that hasn't changed any for all you guys out there wondering about that. But we are running out of time, and we're actually out of time. So with that said, I do want to thank all our guests here today. We do have myself from Chesapeake, Viceroy, and then we have Angel from Europa here with us today as a special guest. We also have DJ Emaleth from Atlantic here with us. We have DJ Malik here with us, who's also from Atlantic. And we have Winterfrost, who's from Chesapeake and Origin with us here as a special guest as well. And I want to thank each and every one of you guys for joining us. And before we actually close out for today, I want to give you guys all an opportunity to say goodbye or any other closing comments in which you might want to say on there or have recorded. Go ahead, Angel.
What?
Do you want to say goodbye to anybody out there?
Oh, yes, of course. Well, it was very nice being here, and I thank Viceroy for this because previous week I asked if I can join the TeamSpeak, and well, I couldn't make it, but I'm glad I was here, and I hope next time I'll talk less.
Yeah, maybe so, and I do appreciate you joining us. Emaleth, do you have anything that you want to say to the people out there listening?
Mainly it was just to Angel, letting her know that she did a great job. I don't care if English isn't her first language. She still sounds great, and she better talk just as much, or I'll have to find her and smack her. But otherwise, not really a whole lot, except for poor Grasshopper Little that didn't really get in because he had all those problems.
Yeah, well, maybe next week you can get in and participate in next week's talk show or something like that. And Malik, do you have anything that you want to say out to those people out there?
Yeah, I just want to say I enjoyed being here. A lot of the talk in the IRC was good. I encourage people to drop into the IRC. It's a lot of fun. I encourage people also to catch the shows tomorrow with you and Sakara with the interview, and definitely the Voices of Cesaria, Arcus and Lucid, and definitely catch us tomorrow too, you know.
Yep. I totally agree, and and I'll tell you one thing, I'm a big fan of the Voices of Cesaria, and being, the station owner myself, I'm a big fan of their show, and and it's just one of those things, I look to the talk show, I look forward to the talk show every weekend, I look forward to, the interview every weekend, I look forward to, listen to the Voices of Cesaria with DJ Arcus and Lucid. I mean, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I just enjoy listening to their shows and everything, and I think they do an awesome job. So definitely you'll be coming around. So definitely tune in for tomorrow. Yeah, I'm sorry. Cesarean Voices. That's right. Cesarean Voices. Yes, I am so dead for saying it wrong. But yeah, be sure to tune in for that tomorrow. We're also going to be interviewing the folks from Paxlayer tomorrow, and that's right. Yes, I said folks from Paxlayer because of the simple fact that, they are the oldest player-run town, to my knowledge, in Ultima Online that's still going strong. So be sure to tune in around 5 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow, or 10 p.m. GMT time, and we're going to be doing that interview with them, and it's going to be a 2-hour interview, and it's going to be Sakura, me, and 6 representatives from the Paxlayer town from Chesapeake. So all you Chesapeake fans out there, tune on in. Get your friends over here because it's one-of-a-kind interview. I don't think there's ever been any audio interviews with people from Paxlayer before, so this is definitely going to be the first interview with a player-run town. And it's going to be quite interesting with a lot of people, such as 8 people, all in the same chat channel. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and give Winterfrost a chance to, say goodbye to all the people out there. Go ahead, Winterfrost.
Oh, I just want to thank you for letting me take part and say, yes, I really am a girl.
Yeah, I remember you saying something about that yesterday. You were like, man, I can't believe some people would still think I'm a guy. You would think that with the Rose signature and everything that people would get it through their head that yes, you are a woman, and yes, you've confirmed that you are indeed a woman. So, with that said, I want to thank everybody out there for joining us tonight for our talk show, and be sure to tune in next Saturday for our talk show once again. Alright, and that does it, and we are going to go ahead and play a song, which is a remix of Minnock, one of my favorites. So, thank you all for joining us once again.